Here.
Councilman Valentine,
Here.
and Supervisor Stewart.
Here. Thanks so much, Charlie. All right. So, public portion. I'll make a motion to open the public portion of our meeting. Can I have a second? There's a
Second.
public comment for more. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All righty. I have one person signed in to make a comment under the public portion, bearing in mind that we also have the hearing on the Blauvelt Fire Company, which also is an opportunity to comment on that specific agenda item in a little while. But starting out with general public comment, I see Eileen Larkin. If you could please come up, and thank you for signing in. We do have a 3-minute clock there
Good evening.
for those
members of
people
the
who might not be
board.
familiar with it.
I'm Baron, as someone recently once said. I was one of 4 residents who met with Mr. Stephen Porth of the Rockland Industrial Development Agency to discuss the proposed tax deal for Ramblin' Holdings. By the way, is this camera on tonight? Is the volume on tonight? Wasn't on at the last meeting.
I'm not watching TV right now, Eileen, so
Well,
I can't tell you what it
should
looks
be
like.
known because there's people out there watching this, and they want to know. They like to be able to hear me and hear you. The meeting was very cordial, informative, and I came away feeling that Mr. Porth listened to our concerns and suggestions. As you know, Ramblin' is seeking relief from a $2,546,000 in sales tax for the interior that they, part of the building that they plan to make suitable for themselves, and also to give an additional same relief to future tenants at that site. As someone who just paid $87 in sales tax for work done on a car, I'm very, very angry that a profit-making company can ask relief from sales tax forgiveness. In addition to a pilot program, these taxes are used to reduce our county taxes and dribble down to us, which is all part of your budget that you're hoping will realize. Orangetown is a great place for people to do business. We recently, I think our policy in the town is to no longer waive permit fees for our local not-for-profits. However, you do consider giving a profit-making company tax relief, which is wrong. Rockland County tops the list of the most fiscally stressed municipality in New York State. When did it become legal for profit-making companies, which I'm all for because I'm a strong capitalist, to get sales tax exemption status and not-for-profits fall under that same category, such as the Palisades Community Center, the libraries, or assisted living places? When and if this comes before you, they should be asked, it should be denied, number one, and if you are forthcoming to give it to them, they should be asked to give back to the town in some way. At one time, a pilot program, when it was granted, the person who got it gave something back to the town. They should be asked to only buy from local businesses. People are fed up with our taxes. Nobody in Orangetown or in throughout Rockland County pays less than 10 to 12,000 and up. I know somebody who pays $40,000 a year in taxes to Orangetown, between school, town, and county. People are moving out. Young people, they look around, they love to stay in the town. They're finding it very difficult. And I think to give a profit-making company sales tax relief is immoral, obscene, and could really affect those who are going to run for office next year.
Thank you, Mrs. Larkin.
Thank you, Supervisor.
I know that town board members have a thing to say in response, but is there anybody else who would like to speak? Mr. Watson. Morgan.
Good evening, gentlemen. Watson Morgan, Blauvelt, New York. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to see the presentation of the libraries. I am totally in support for more than 25 years of the libraries. My wife was a librarian at Blauvelt Library, and she was a professional librarian in the Clarkstown school system. And I believe that libraries bring a tremendous amount of joy and information and education to our community. That being said, I'll leave it at that for now. Number two, I was ill last week, and I looked forward to seeing the town board meeting on the internet on channel 78, and it was abhorrent. It was from when it went from each camera pane to camera pane, it was in and out. There was the
I understand that. That
the
wasn't
rainbow of
representative.
system.
There were some glitches.
And it's happened before, but it was terrible. And then you flip to a former presentation without saying that it was flipping to a different presentation. That's got to be fixed. We're spending a lot of money. We had a lot of money set aside for this. I mean, for preset cameras, that should not happen. Once it's set up, it should just be. That being said, the other thing, I had a quick conversation with you about the rail trail. This particular section of the rail trail we've been looking at for 9 or 10 years. And I hear now that some glitches. It was supposed to be started 2 months ago. That's next to the last thing I have to say. Last thing is I just checked my checkbook today. I paid my taxes before the deadline, and my check hasn't been cashed yet. I think it's something that should be pretty much cashed immediately if we're talking about people that were running short of money and such. I would think that the taxes, when they're paid, should go immediately on file and go into the good use of the town. It seems as though it's not. That being said, I figured I'd be on the bitching post for a little while since nobody else was talking. Add a little entertainment to the evening.
Well done. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Hear, hear.
All right. Anybody else for public comment by a raise of hands? Yes, Mary Cardenas, director of our local museum, among other things.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mary Cardenas. I'm the Orangetown historian. And I would like to speak about two houses located in Orangetown. The first is the I.J. Perry House, located at 285 Blue Hill Road in Pearl River. The second house is the Abraham Lent House, located at 2 Greenbush Road in Orangeburg. I would like to preface my comments by stating that not every old house ought to be saved. But, as with other town historians, we are charged with preserving and protecting that town or community's heritage, which includes old houses. In the case of the Perry House, that house sustained severe water damage to the ground floor supports due to the runoff from the hill behind it. And although the town who owns this house would have chosen to repair and save it, the money spent for this project would have been astronomical. In the case of the Lent House, there was no water damage to the ground floor supports or the roof. It is simply an old house, some 262 years old, in fact, and in the way of a proposed development. There is no reason why the developer cannot include this house in their proposed plans. We already have an example of a site where senior citizen apartments are to be built. The developer has incorporated the Perry Blauvelt Seth House, located on Blue Hill Road West in Pearl River, into the plans whereby the house will benefit this new development. The town board passed a resolution permitting this development and made a number of accommodations so that the development can go forward. I am asking this board to consider not passing a resolution for the demolition of the Lent House until all possibilities for its inclusion can be exhausted. And I thank you for any consideration.
Thanks for that comment. By show of hands, anybody else here to make a public comment tonight? I'm not seeing any hands up. I'll make a motion to close public comment period. Can I have a second? Valentine, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, the ayes have it. We have a minute or two before, or about 20 minutes actually, before the Blauvelt Fire Company's hearing. I just wanted to respond to an item or two that was just raised, and also just make a couple quick announcements. On the announcement side, I just want you to know our town clerk has organized a shredding day. Thank you for doing that, Charlotte. Thursday, October 23rd in the afternoon, 4 to 7. You can bring, I think, 2 boxes. Is there a maximum to that? A couple of boxes of files? And
Depends on how crowded it is. If we can accommodate more than 2 boxes, we'll be happy to. But no going in, that would be a maximum if it's a crowd.
right, so old credit card bills and anything with that you want to shred, and we'll be promoting that. And we thank you for putting that together, Charlie. On October 18th, backing up a little bit, there'll be a town open house centered on the police department, but also with sewer department, highway department, and other departments showing off what they do. And that's here in Town Hall on the 18th from 11 to 2. So we'll promote that, and folks are encouraged to spread the word. Following up on a couple comments there, I just think it should be, just for clarification purposes, not to start a debate. But Mrs. Larkin, your critique of the tax incentives is well appreciated and understood. People do need to focus on that. Our taxes are too high, and we don't want to give anything away. We're working hard to keep the budget as low as possible. From what I understand, the sales tax exemption is entirely the domain of the Rockland County government. The town does not have authority to exempt businesses from sales tax. The property tax question, and I think you would agree with this, is always a balance. And if you talk with Steve at Porath at the IDA, essentially the balance is how do we increase the taxes being paid on such and such a parcel? If the new development is going to increase the value of it and will be taxed higher, but we can schedule that tax assessment to go up over time in a way that cultivates the development, then we're ahead of the game. And they have gotten some relief over that period in order to foster investment. But the basic principle is it's got to be tax positive. And that means that the town and the school board, which leads on these things, would never sign an agreement, presumably, that gave an incentive where the property was losing money instead of gaining money, if you understand what I'm saying. The assessment has to go up over time, and the question is just how fast it gets to 100% on day 1 or after 10 years. The TV glitch was fixed, and I just want to reiterate my commendations to the volunteers who work on that, one of whom is back there right now, and also our IT staff who are wonderful. And it is complex, and there are glitches, and I apologize, Watson, for having things a little mixed up last week. But we got it back on track. Those are my comments. Does the town board want to respond to any of these public comments now, or do you want me to go on to the agenda? Maybe we can do a couple items and come back to the public hearing. You all set for now? Okay. All right. So, bearing in mind that we scheduled a public hearing for 8:05, but it's only 7:45, let's take a look ahead on the agenda past the Blauvelt contract. And that gets us to number 5, which is a proposal on the part of, actually, Councilman Troy. Really, do you want to pull that one item off? All right. Anybody have an objection to pulling that item? Fine by me. Pulling up item number 5. Item number 6. And the rest of this agenda, actually, except for the very last item, which is sending a police officer for training, was all workshopped last week. So item number 6 has to do with the DEC order on consent and a settlement and authorization to pay $5,000. Comments or questions about that? All set? I'll make a motion to accept that resolution. Can I have a second?
Second.
Over here from Moore. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Number 7 is the Oak Tree widening project that our Superintendent James Dean described to us last week. So I want to make a motion for that one.
I'll make a motion.
Motion from Valentine, second from Troy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Then we have some event support, the Orangeburg Fire Department. So I want to make a motion for that one.
Move it.
Move from Moore, second from Troy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you. On personnel, we have the appointment of Matthew Kane to the position of maintenance electrician to work in the wastewater treatment plant. And it goes on to detail his step and grade and so on. And this is a more or less a budget neutral decision. There was a position that was open that was redefined, And it's great that we're going to have an electrician down there. Who wants to make a motion on this one?
Move it.
A motion from Moore, second from Troy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Number 10, this is the appointment to replace a vacancy in the Finance Department, and it's the account-keeping supervisor position, and the appointee is Stephanie Tasello. Who can make a motion for this one? Troy, second from Valentine. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations to Stephanie. I know the team is looking forward to having her on board. Under new business, number 12 is the appointment of a chair to the Akabor Land Use Review Board. It's Jill Feldstein. And would someone like to make a motion for Jill's appointment? Dennis, a second from Tom.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. It's great. Thank you, Jill, for stepping up. And just a reminder, we are doing interviews for filling the vacancies on the Planning Board and the Architectural Review Board on Thursday. I'm trying to remember if we said it at 7:30 or 8. Hold on a second. Make sure I get that date right. At 7 o'clock. All right, guys? So on Thursday at 7 o'clock. I want to also acknowledge Mrs. Feldstein for coming out tonight. Congratulations and thank you for your service on Akabor and for being willing to step up and lead that group. With obviously Jack Messina moving out of the state, there's a little bit of change over there. We thank you for that. And as a reminder, the town board at 7 o'clock on Thursday, we have several individuals interviewing for those vacancies on Akabor and planning. Item number 13 is the appointment of Joe Mendocino to the position of Engineer 2. And who wants to make a motion for that one?
I will.
Over here, Valentine, a second from
Second.
Moore. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
How am I doing on time? All right. Number 14, this is an authorization and also a commendation to the Justice Department for going out and finding a grant, a little over $6,000 for courtroom communications and associated computer software. I'll make a motion for that. Can I have a second over here? Valentine, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's great when our departments go out and find money, other places for things that are needed in the town. Number 15, this is a receive and file of several documents into the clerk's office, and they're listed here. Budgets from Pearl River Fire Department. Oh, I'm sorry, wait, that's the license agreement for them to do training in the John Perry House and minutes and so on. I'll make a motion for the acceptance of these documents. Can I have a second over here?
Second.
More, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Number 16 is new business, and this is authorizing the police department to send Police Officer Anthony Palazzolo to a special training having to do with the enforcement of drunken driving. And this is being paid for by the Stop DWI program that the county runs. And just as a town, I think we're proud of Officer Palazzolo's work. And I think he's a real standout when it comes to enforcing the laws against driving while intoxicated and also other safety and traffic issues. So make a motion to accept that resolution. Can I have a second? From Troy, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. We set a hearing for 8:05. It was publicized for that. Maybe we could do the audit. That's a nice idea. And we don't start hearings before they're publicized to start, which is why we're not going straight into the Blauvelt hearing, in case members of the public are coming out and aiming to get here at 8:05. Now we're going to take a look at the audit. Our Finance Director, Jeff Bensick, is handing it out.
Thanks.
Today's audit consists of 3 warrants for a total of $1,023,239.63. First warrant is 1 voucher for $20,000 and was for the Blue Hill Pro Shop contract. The second warrant consists of 164 vouchers for $923,000. Various items of interest. Number 3, CSEA, $26,000 for October dental payments. Number 5, NTech Corp., $45,000 for sewer I&I work in Nyack that was paid for from the bond proceeds that you bonded for earlier this year. Number 8, Graphic Service Bureau, $11,000 for tax bill printing and postage. Number 9, MetLife, $11,000 for police dental premiums. Number 11, New York State Department of Civil Service, $571,000 for health care. Number 13, Peckham Industries, $72,000 for the Highway CHIPS program. Number 14, R&R Pump Control, $12,000 for emergency repair of the Spark Hill pump station. Number 17, the State Comptroller, $33,000 for Justice Court fines. And then the third warrant consists of 2 vouchers totaling $79,000 and was for purchase of police vehicles from seizure money. Any questions on the audit?
Just one, Jeff. The NTech is being paid from the bond proceeds.
Correct.
Do you have idea off the top of your head how much is left on those bond proceeds?
In total, the sewer department was $1.225 million for all of the sewer I&I work in 2014 and another $1 million in 2015. How much of that has been spent off the top of my head? I think it was like $600,000 or $700,000. So we still
Including
have,
this?
including this, yes.
All right, thanks.
Munis, that's our payroll
That's
system.
the package, yeah. What are you paying, what programming changes are you?
Well, we're not doing any changes for the payroll because we looked into KVS and they want $90,000. This is, Munis is $15,000 per year. And
So this is a license fee, a maintenance fee, not for programming processing?
it's for the license fee.
Okay.
Yep.
What's number 12, Jeff?
That's Palisades Home Improvement. I know Mary Cardenas is here. There was a repair to the porch there that needed, is she still here? I don't know if she's still here. There was a demo work and repair to the porch on the Salyer House, the museum.
Okay.
And that was for $5,000 and change.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Jeff, do you have a sheet for the? I'll make a motion for the acceptance of this audit.
Second.
Second from Tom Moore. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Go ahead and pay those bills. We have a few minutes before the Blauvelt Fire Company hearing. I'd like to make a motion to take a short recess at the request of Councilman Moore.
That's Troy.
Excuse
Yes,
me.
that's fine.
I'm sorry, Troy. It was down that way somewhere.
I know
The
it's
most
Wednesday.
opinionated one. All right, can I have a second on that?
Yes, second.
Yeah, all right. So we're in recess for the next 10 minutes. I'd like to make a motion that we end our recess and come back into session. Can I have a second on that?
Second.
Second from Moore. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Secondly, I'd like to welcome the Blauvelt Volunteer Fire Company representatives here, Mr. Sweeney and others, who are going to talk to us when we open this public hearing. Would someone like to make a motion to open the public hearing on the Blauvelt Fire Company's contract with the town of Orangetown? So moved from Troy, second from Valentine. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have the presentation of publication and the notice of hearing, if anybody would like to see that.
All right. The hearing was properly notified to the media. Would you like to make a brief statement about the budget request and answer any questions from the town board? And then we'll see if anybody from the general public has come for this hearing, and we'll all hear what they have to say.
Okay, my name's Charles Sweeney. I'm treasurer of the Blow Volunteer Fire Company, and with me, or maybe support, is Mr. Clifford, Robert Clifford. He's the chairman. Our assistant chief, George Chandras, and our president, Mike Conklin. All right, we proposed, we gave you information Friday, proposed budget of $770,365. I don't know, I don't have my glasses on. 600, no. 800 and, well, let's look at this paper. It's easier that way, right? The dollar amount on that? $675,000.
$770,600.
675, yes, plus workman's comp, which we don't know what that is. That will come from Fire Districts Mutual. It's generally the same amount. We haven't had any large claims or anything. And we gave you a list of the proposed items, breakdown of the budget of what it would be spent on. I'm losing all my papers. So basically, I don't know, it's up, your questions. It's a lump sum. It's 2% over the last year.
So you're asking for 770,675, which is actually a little less than what was in your...
Right, it's a little less because I budgeted for a slight increase
We'll take
prior
your
to
word for it.
having the
Give it to
final
us.
numbers from the fire company. So this request at 770,675 is slightly under what we charted in the tentative town budget, and it's slightly over what was allocated for last year, which was about 755.
The only question I have, Andy, in the resolution, it says, "and workers' comp insurance," and Mr. Sweeney mentioned that too. What is that? Is that normally separate from the budget? I thought it was all-inclusive. No?
As long as I've been here, workers' comp has been separate.
So in last year's budget, it wasn't included in the numbers either?
Correct.
Okay.
And you should be getting a bill statement or whatever from them soon.
Any questions from members of the board?
Yeah, what is your fund balance?
Fund balance as of March 31st was $2.6 million.
Now, I would think some of the fund balance is for planning for buying the fire trucks?
Yes. 2018, we anticipate spending $650,000 for one pumper. 2020, $700,000 for a rescue truck. And in 2025, 725,000 for another pumper. And this excludes if ISO comes in and says that we need a ladder truck at the cost of 1.1 million.
Are you saying that they are going to tell you you need a new ladder
We
truck?
don't know. They could. So
What would be sort of the critical thing that would
all the
kick it
new
over into needing a
large
new...
factory buildings that have been built in the town,
Right.
Mr. McGee's land, and I don't know, there's
Sorry.
others.
I guess the only question I have, you set aside 200 and something thousand for trucks each year?
No, it'd be,
I don't know if that's the number, I don't have it in
no,
front of me.
we lowered it to 125,000. And then any surplus would go into that reserve, or in the past 2 years, we've had to pay, well, we didn't have to pay, we did pay VFIS for age discrimination for people that they were cut off when they started collecting. That cost us roughly 240,000, and then we had another 225,000 we paid at the end of last year because the fund was not fully funded. It was still not fully funded, but it brought us up to an acceptable or a closer acceptable amount. So we anticipate that premium's gone up, or we're told that premium's going up from 95 to 109 this coming year, plus we will have to look and see how funded the balance is on that. So any surplus would also go towards, if there is a surplus.
I'm just saying, going forward, then, again, I'm glad to see the amount that's set aside is lower.
Yeah.
All right, but going forward, that's some number that has to be looked at, you know, when you have a $2.6 million.
Yeah, well, that's not only, that's other reserves, like we had a reserve for radio equipment,
No, I understand.
which is being spent down.
I get it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a public hearing. We just want to make sure we have our questions out. Any other town board member questions, or we'll take those from the
Sounds
public?
good. Not right now, if there's anybody.
All right.
in the public.
Two people signed in on this sheet, but I have a feeling that they thought they were signing in on the other sheet. But is Mario Gonzalez still here? Nope, yeah, I know. And Mary Cardenas is also still not here, so they signed in an error on the fire company's sign-in sheet. Is anybody here to make a comment or a question about the town's contract with Blauvelt Fire Company? Nope, I'm seeing no, other than Watson's blessing over there. No hands are raised. So, seeing no hands raised, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on the proposed contract between the town and the Blauvelt Fire Company for 2015. Can I have a second on that? Second over here. More. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So we've opened the hearing, we've closed the hearing. The action on the budget requires, on the contract requires the town to do a secra lead agency and a declaration under secra. And then there's a resolution for the approval of the budget or the contract. So item number 3, this is I'll just sort of summarize it. In other words, the fire protection district is within the town of Orangetown, and the proposal is that the town have a 1-year contract for the furnishing of fire protection within this district. And therefore, the town resolves as follows: that it declares itself to be the lead agency under SECRA, which is State and Environmental Quality Review Act, for the purposes of the environmental review of this contract. The action is an unlisted action under SECRA, and the town board determines that a 1-year contract with the fire company for fire protection services within the district will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment, and therefore issues a determination of non-significance, which supervisor is hereby authorized to execute. Someone want to make a motion for that resolution? Moore. Second from Troy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes. In fact, the fire company is an environmental benefit in many ways, especially when it comes to putting out forest fires. And I guess the question for the town board is, are you ready to move forward with resolution number 4, which is the approval of the contract? Is there any discussion?
Well, I know that we cut the fire budget by, I think it was 10% last year, and they're coming back about 2, so they're actually under their funding for 2015, under what they were funded in 2013, so I'm okay with moving forward.
I agree.
Yeah, I'll move it.
A motion from Valentine, second from Troy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. And it should never go without saying that your volunteers, you provide life-saving service in Blauvelt, in the town of Orangetown, and we thank you for that.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jim.
Now, unless I missed something somewhere along the way, that completes our agenda for tonight.
You have an adjournment,
I do have an adjournment. Are there any other matters that anybody wants to take on right now?
I'd like to adjourn in the name of John Sicardi,
Thank
the
you.
planner that the town used for many years in RPC. Again, I guess Suzanne Barkley told us about this, but John Sicardi, I thought was just a real gentleman. He was a craftsman in the planning field. He helped us tremendously here in this town, and he'll be sorely missed. He's a good man.
Yep, thanks for saying that. I think your sentiments are echoed across the board here.
Patty Scarpinato from Pearl River also. She was very active in St. Margaret's, very active in Little League through the years, CYO basketball. So.
All right, thanks for those. So on the motion to adjourn, all those in favor say aye. Aye, the ayes have it. Thanks for coming out. Have a safe trip home. I haven't had any requests for executive session.